Shalom everybody, welcome to Talking Torah. Today we're going to be looking at the Parsha of Toldot, which continues the narrative of the story of Abraham, but before we get there, we have an exciting announcement to make, don't we?
Very exciting.
So
yes.
why don't you tell our listeners?
Well, so even though it might seem like something we've done before, it's something I've never done before.
That's right. You don't know what you're missing.
Well, I can't wait. I'm very excited. So you know that little record that you guys won or earned?
The Guinness Book of Records.
The Guinness Book of Records 2 years ago with the most Chanukiot lit at one time.
In one place.
In one place, right? So, unfortunately, after you guys won that record, some synagogue in Princeton went ahead and took over that record, expanded on that record, and we're ready to bring it back to where it belongs, to the Merrick Jewish Centre. So we're doing Light Up the Night 2.
And we're going to bring the record back to the Merrick Jewish Centre.
That's right.
And that's going to involve a monumental effort.
Yes.
I believe the record we set was at 797.
Right, and they bumped it up to 830
or 40 or something like that. So, I mean, that if you're going to beat a record, beat it by more than...
Smash it. Yeah. We don't want 841.
No, I think we need to go to 1,000 this time.
Wow.
1,000, okay? And I think we're going to mobilize, I believe we're going to mobilize the congregation, 1,000 menorot Chanukiot on the December 17th. This is going to be the biggest Hanukkah event in the history of the Merrick Jewish Centre.
Yes, yeah, bigger than last time.
And probably the biggest Hanukkah event on Long Island. So spread the word.
Yeah, everybody's welcome.
Yeah, and we're going to have entertainment, and it's going to be a great evening, a spectacular celebration of Hanukkah.
So Wednesday night,
December 17th,
right,
at 7 p.m. So let's get to the Torah reading.
Right.
So we're now into the family of Yitzchak and Rivka, Isaac and Rebekah. And these stories are so packed with enormously important events and ideas and messages. So go pick one, right,
yeah,
in the time allocated to this. You know, marriage in the Torah is not really described in the fullness, in the way that we think of marriage, right? Someone marries so-and-so, they beget so-and-so, there's a story about where they travel to, some of the crises that they face along the way. Here for the first time, something happens with a marriage and the relationship between two people, that is Isaac and Rebekah, Yitzchak and Rivka, that's very different. And I think gives us an understanding of how the Torah begins to create a very different and a fuller understanding of marriage and what that relationship is all about. So Isaac and Rebekah are in the land of the Philistines, okay, because there was a famine in the land. And there they are, and then the Torah says that Yitzchak mitzachek et Rivka ishto. That Yitzchak was being playful with Rebekah. That Yitzchak was maybe, here it says, jesting with his wife, they were sharing a very, very lovely moment of fun, of happiness, of joy. You can imagine that they were just together and maybe a little flirtatious at the moment, one with the other. We don't have that in the Torah, really. And I love that line because it breaks us into a whole new look at marriage. That here are one of our matriarchs and patriarchs who are helping us to see marriage as this opportunity to just bring this wonderfully sublime and beautiful happiness and joy one to the other.
Right. Yeah, you know, it really is a lovely note, and we do know that Yitzchak and Rebekah are in love.
Right.
I mean, they're the only couple that the Torah tells us for sure explicitly that they love each other. And so, it is nice to see them here laughing and jesting with each other. But I'll tell you the first thought that I had when that came to mind. This word metzachek actually is not such a good word. Even though we think of playing as a light and airy and fun thing, when we've seen many times in the Torah, and I actually thought of another example too, when metzachek is actually not such a good thing. 3 times I can think of. One, when it says that Yishmael was mitzachek, and it's because of that Sarah said, I want Ishmael sent out, and I want Isaac to be staying here. Another time is when the Israelites were building the golden calf. It says that they were metzachek, that they were overjoyed, and they were having a big party around this golden calf. Mm-hmm. And the last one that I thought of was also when Sarah laughs, to bring to light Yitzchak's name, and says that she laughed, mitzachek, right?
In a note of unbelievability.
Exactly. In a note of, this is in a jesting way, in a hurtful way even to Abraham. She was laughing at the fact that Abraham was so old, and that she was so old that she couldn't possibly do it.
Yeah.
So I think what we have here, and I'm open to believing that this mitzachek here is of a positive note, that they were enjoying themselves. But I also think that the Torah is trying to tell us that when we laugh and when we're joking, we have to be careful, right?
Well,
even with people who we love,
right?
Because sometimes you can make a joke and it can be taken the wrong way, and it can really dig at somebody. And Isaac is a good guy. He's one of our patriarchs. He's a flawed human being, just like his father before him, and just like his son after him. And so we know that. So I'm thinking that this mitzachek is more complicated than just unbridled love for each other.
Yeah, look, I think you accurately point out, and you make the case very well, that the word mitzachek has a negative valence to it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And here is the one time where it's used in a way in which, it sort of liberates mitzachek from all those other associations. However, I think that you're right, because I think there is a very precarious line we walk when we're jesting, when we're saying things in fun. That often it happens that people cross over the line,
right.
and fun turns to hurt.
Right.
That what we think may be funny in certain situations actually causes hurt, and it happens all the time. Here, Yitzchak is doing what I think spouses should do, one for the other, is to recognize, in the busyness of our crazy, non-ending, always going days, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes we're texting each other. At 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
We have to stop that. And so in the midst of all that craziness, there's got to be some time. Whether it's date night, or time during the day where around dinner, if we're lucky enough, or maybe when we call an end to the day at 10 o'clock at night or 10:30, just for that moment where you can just sit and be with your spouse and just bring a little bit of joy to each other. Because what's interesting to me here is Avimelech, their host, says to Isaac, he says, she's your wife. Okay, she's your wife. Avimelech had thought that they were brother and sister. Mm-hmm. And so what is it that denotes, a husband and wife relationship? Mm-hmm. It is this bringing joy, this happiness, this moment of simple, sublime fun that they're having one to the other. We've got to make those moments happen more often in life.
Yeah. And what's wonderful about Isaac and Rebekah and the fact that this word mitzachek is not so obvious necessarily is that our relationships are more complicated than just all the time happy.
Right.
He sees that, that must be your wife, because you're laughing together and you're having a good time. And we also know about Isaac and Rebekah that they love each other, but they don't always get along. They have different viewpoints. That's right. This mitzachek, could have been the kind of joking that one would only do with their most intimate of partners.
Right.
And so, so it's really wonderful to see Rebecca and Isaac as in the fullness of their couplehood, and I think this is a really beautiful piece of that gets overlooked because it's all from really just one word. So thank you very much. That was a great thought, and thank you all for watching. Don't forget, keep your eyes open for a lot more information about Light Up the Night 2. It's going to be absolutely out of this world. We're going to smash that record. 1,000 people. You heard it from his mouth first. So we'll really hope that happens December 17th at 7 p.m. So until then, we wish...
Well, I think we have to wish them, because we're not doing this next week.
Oh.
So let's wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Right?
And a happy Thanksgiving to you,
yes,
all right, and the family. And we'll look forward to resuming our Talking Torah with you. A lot more happening over the weeks ahead. It's going to be a very exciting month of December here, but we'll keep you informed about that. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Leitro.